internet, it's Katie and I'm back today with a brand new video for you guys. Today's video is a TMI video per usual. I feel like these videos are slowly devouring my channel. They're all I tend to do anymore. But the thing is, I keep having these revelations like throughout the past few weeks. I've just been like, oh my god, like life is starting to make sense to me. I'm in this like very thoughtful period of life, I feel like. Okay, I'm just gonna cut right to the chase. Body image and self-esteem and worth is a huge buzz topic on the internet. Like, people everywhere from all walks of life attempt to unravel this, phenomenon that is why the heck I feel so insecure all the time, and why, especially as females, it's statistically proven that females, more often than men are insecure. Why the hell is that? And people, try all these ways, psychologists, everyone's trying to just debunk why the hell we wake up in the morning and we're like, I hate myself, I hate this, I hate this, I hate myself, blah, blah, blah. I feel like on the internet, and I'm guilty of this as well, there's been a lot of superficial tactics of assuaging self-esteem. Don't compare yourself, you're beautiful just the way you are. And, as great as these phrases are, they're hollow because, it's just the nice thing to say. A lot of times in life, there's the things that you can say to people that will actually change things, or there's the nice things you can tell people that are pretty and, would look great on a Hallmark card or on, a Pinterest page, but not quite something you can hang on to and something you can relate with. I've been spending the past few months really trying to work on myself and like really just try to figure out my purpose. I'm technically an adult, but I still, don't quite know what I'm doing with my life and can't handle my alcohol, but just kidding. That was a joke. That last part was a joke. Sometimes you have to go back to the basics of things. I feel like as humans, we have this bad tendency of sugarcoating everything when things sometimes need to just be blunt, black and white, and here are the facts. And I'm guilty of this because I am such a creative thinker that I always try to think of the pretty ways to sell something or to say something or to, express something. I want it to be pretty, I want it to be aesthetically pleasing, I want it to be something that people will want to repeat and write down on and doodle in their journal and put as their wallpaper and whatnot. And that's just the way that I am because that's the industry I want to be in, that's just how I work and how I've been taught in school because I'm a comm major, etc. Let me tell you guys, sometimes life is not pretty. Life is ugly and messy and hard, and sometimes you have to be ugly, messy, and hard, in order to combat what life is throwing at you. You can't always be a perfect little sugar-coated goddess. You have to be hard, you have to be a warrior in this life, and I'm not just saying that because it sounds pretty. Okay, warrior, that's kind of like a pretty word too, I guess. But think of like the Joan of Arc, like not the pretty Joan of Arc with her hair flowing, but the Joan of Arc with like the battle sword and the blood flying everywhere and the guts and like whatever. That is sometimes the hard reality of life. You can't go through life like one of those Instagram models. Alright, so I've been preaching, and you guys are probably still pretty confused about why the title is titled how it is titled. It simply would not be a TMI video if I didn't, somehow delve into something that's a little bit messy and a little bit embarrassing and just something that I wouldn't normally, kick off a dinner date with. So that is where this next part comes in. It's kind of uncomfortable because I know a lot of people that I actually do know in real life will watch this video eventually, and if you are one of those people watching this, like, just please know it's taken me a lot of strength to talk about this on the internet, and that's really all I'm going to say about that. Oh my god. Okay, so ever since I can remember, I've been insanely self-conscious of my thighs, and I understand that's a big insecurity for many women. I'm a big advocate of the fact that all feeling is valid, even if your feeling doesn't coincide with my feeling, and if I think that your feeling is a little dramatic or whatever, your feeling is still valid and no one can tell you that it isn't valid. I'm sick of telling people I'm insecure about my body, I'm insecure about my curves, whatever, and then people slamming me saying, you don't have curves, I have curves, I'm bigger than you, blah, 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 whatever. No, my feeling is valid even if you don't agree. And you have to just take it as it is, and my feeling is my feeling, and you cannot tell me that my feeling and there's been a lot of, in the media and stuff, praising
it's my intellectual property.
I still,
to throw out a big buzzword there,
I'm not gonna lie with you guys, like, I have cellulite. I have just not an ideal by society standards. I'm insecure with my stomach and the way that my jeans fit, and the other day, it was crazy, I actually wore a pair of pants out at night for the first time in my life. This was a really hard step for me, and everyone's life is different, everyone's insecurities are different, but mine is my body. Insanely, no matter what I tell myself, no matter what pretty quotes I read on Pinterest, I am always just so darn insecure. And the other night I wore pants out at night to a fraternity party on my campus, and I remember looking at myself in the mirror and being like, I look huge. I look huge. Like, I cannot wear these out. My thighs are huge. My thick ass thighs are huge. My stomach, like, oh, I just can't. I'm disgusted. Like, I am disgusted with myself. And I sent a picture to my friends, like, very hesitantly, like, expecting them, not that my friends are malicious in any means, but they're honest to me. If I look weird in something, they're gonna tell me, you know. And they're like, Katie, I have never seen you wear pants before. Which is true. Guys, I hardly ever wear pants. If you look back at my Instagrams, but I never wear shorts because I'm so insecure of just the way that my body is proportioned. And no matter how much exercise, no matter how much healthy eating, they're just there. I've always had it. I've always experienced this. Even back to middle school, I remember having to get a size up in gym shorts and being so disgusted with myself. But I sent a picture to my friends, very hesitantly, expecting them to be like, Katie, you should change, or I don't even know what I was expecting. But I wasn't expecting my friends to be so, you know, wowed and, like, honestly proud of me in a weird way. Like, proud of me for stepping out of my comfort zone, because I'm just so comfortable wearing dresses and flowy things and things that just don't draw attention to this part of my body. And I wore them out, and I can tell you I had the most fun I've ever had out in my life. I was comfortable, you know, I could put my phone in my back pocket. Like, I've never had this type of luxury before because I don't allow myself to wear what's comfortable because I feel just too big and I feel too big. You just don't know what people are thinking or feeling. You don't know how much they cried this morning or how much it took them, how much effort it took them to get out of bed and just take on the day. You know, we have to honor our small victories in this life because just, you know, getting out of bed in the morning is the biggest accomplishment for some people. There are some things that I know to be true in this life. When you're standing in the mirror at night before you're going to bed, brushing your teeth, you know, your body's not going to look the same then as when you hop out of bed in the morning. Like, I feel the thinnest. I feel like I can take on the day in the morning. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I feel skinny, I feel whatever. And then at night I'm like, oh my God. And you know why? It's because you put things in your body. You put nutrients, you fueled yourself, you got yourself from point A to point B, you know, and you had to fuel yourself because a lot of times my friends are like, oh, like, why did I eat that? Why did I eat that? Or I'm like, why did I eat that? And I'm like, wait a second. It's because I was hungry. You eat because you're hungry, you know? You don't eat, you know, just to, like, fatten yourself up for winter or something. You eat because your body needs those nutrients. Something else that I know to be true. Your stomach is not going to be insanely flat. Like, you know, I've seen the models, I've seen the pictures, a lot of them are doctored. Here is the reality. You have internal organs in there. Some precious, precious organs that are worth millions of dollars. You know, you have organs in your stomach that process things and get you through life and make babies and all of these things that are in your stomach and midsection and, you know, all over this type of part of your body that everyone's so self-conscious of. Not everyone's the same height and the same size and has the same color eyes, and, you know, by the same token, not everyone has the same sized organs. Another truth, your thighs are not fat. Your thighs are powerful. And that's what I constantly have to remind myself. I might not be confident wearing shorts, which has been the biggest struggle of my existence, just wearing shorts and fitting my legs through those holes and not feeling like 1,000 pounds and like I want to cry. My thighs have power. I have muscle there. I can get myself to the top of Mount Vesuvius, and I did it in Pompeii. I hiked to Mount Vesuvius, the top. So why is it that I have the strength to hike to the top of Mount Vesuvius, but I don't have the strength to just be at peace with my body and to, you know, say to my body, I love you? I think that the most simple yet the most significant battle that we can fight and thing that we can overcome is just looking at ourselves and saying, I love you. You know, we could tell other people we love them. I tell my friends all the time, I love them. I'm, you know, hanging up the phone, I love you, Mom, I love you, Dad, I love you, Ashley, my sister, you know, I love you. But why is it that it's so hard to just say it, to turn around and say it to ourselves? It's because we're critics. We're born critics. Maybe not when we were like 5 or 6 years old, because the only thing we're really caring about when we're 5 or 6 is like popsicles and cute puppies and things. But, you know, we are wired to be critical. And sometimes it's helpful, like when we're criticizing, you know, books and movies and, you know, design and things like that for our careers. But when it comes to criticizing ourselves, it can be insanely detrimental to our character. And it can really bring us down. You know, I let it consume me all the time. I'll be sitting in the car at a red light and I'll look down and I'll be like, oh my God, oh my God. Like, I could be brought to tears, and it's something so minuscule that everyone else probably looks at and is like, oh, she's like fine, you know, she doesn't have like big thighs or anything, like whatever. It's just like, whatever. But like, I have a front row seat. I have a front row view at what I have going on, and I look at myself every day, and I'm the first thing that I see when I wake up and get out of bed. You know, it's me, it's my legs, it's my body, it's my hands, and it's me. I see it. I refuse to sugarcoat this for you guys and give you a pretty quote at the end of this video and say, la-di-da-di-da, this is how you're gonna go forward with your life, and this is how things are gonna change for you, and you know, all because of this cute little Pinterest quote. But sometimes the best way to cope with everything, with this messy life, is just to know that other people feel the same way and that we're not alone. It's hard to talk about it. It's hard to talk about what we don't like about ourselves. Like, around our friends, it's easy. It's easy to be like, oh shit, I hate this on me, blah, blah, I should lose some weight, whatever, I should stop eating this, whatever. But like, in the grand scheme of things, like to a big audience, like you don't want the entire school knowing like that you hate this about yourself, because then everyone's gonna look at that and be like, oh my god, you're right, like whatever. And so now, like, I know I'm opening up the doors to you guys going to my Instagram and going to see like how I've never worn shorts in the past 5 or 6 years I've had Instagram or whatever, you know, or noticed that I hardly ever post photos full body. But in this day and age, it's so easy to cover up what we're insecure about and to just not ever talk about it and no one will ever know, to the point where we think that we're alone in our struggle. We think that we're the only people that think this about ourselves because no one else is open to the fact that they are also feeling that way. You know, the statistics don't lie. 9 in 10 women in a study, 10 women standing in a room, 9 of them have things about themselves that they don't like, and have things about themselves that they probably wake up in the morning thinking, oh shit, or they cry about, or they complain about, or they, you know, just constantly have to dance around in this life and figure out a way to not pay attention to that part of them. It's so easy for us to just, you know, not see any negativity on social media, not see any body shaming of oneself, so then we just don't think it exists, but it does. It's so sad because the fact that I am so concerned about this one part of me, you know, it has made me forget about all the things about myself that I love. When I'm really thinking about it, I know that I'm not alone. Like, I know that there must be some other people that feel this way, but I'm like inventing these, like, you know, so-called people. Like, I don't know who actually feels this way in my life. Like, the girl that sits across from me in Calm, like, does she think that way about herself? I have no idea, because she would never tell me. She would never broadcast on her social media. She would never make the world know, or sit in a chair in her purple room in North Carolina and tell the world about how she hates her thighs. I think it's time that we open a conversation. And it's not gonna be pretty and it's not gonna be easy, but that's life. Life is not pretty and life is not easy, and the second that you realize that, you have power. I don't know how this went. We're gonna have to see in post-production. That is it. That is all I have to say. And I hope you guys gleaned some insight from this video. If not, I'm sorry you wasted like 10 minutes of your life. But yeah, and I'll see you guys all next week. Bye.